Is Spencer a royally good movie, or is it something more fit for the British tabloids? Let's find out now. Hey everyone, this is David Stark from Watcher Pass, and I'm here to talk to you about Spencer, which is director Pablo Larrain's imagining of the events that occurred during this royal holiday when Princess Diana and Prince Charles's marriage had long since cooled. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the film and then the things I liked about it and things I didn't like about it. I'm going to try to keep it pretty spoiler free. I don't really think I have to go into spoilers for this film, so I'm going to try to keep it spoiler free. I will warn you if I do have some spoilers, but overall, I'm going to try to keep it spoiler free so that you can all go in and enjoy it. So, Spencer is this, like I said, it's an imagining. So the film's tagline is a fairy tale based on a true tragedy, and that's kind of what this film is. The event actually occurred. This holiday did actually occur, and most of the people that are in the film are real. At least the royals are. Some of the staff members appear to be made for the movie. But overall, this event did occur, and the film is kind of a what if type of tale of what could have happened. And like all these types of movies, there's extra dramatic effect. There are some scenes that appear to be solely for the movie, but in doing that, it does shed a lot of insight into what this life was like. And that's what I really loved most about this film. It really gives you a sense of what Diana could have been going through, how that might have felt to her, and it really translates that onto the big screen and lets the viewer experience it, which I think is a major accomplishment. This film is very, very good. The quick take on this film is it is a royally good film. It is a very, very good film. It's slow moving. It's dramatic. It has a ton of really great elements. There really wasn't much I didn't like, but let's go into it and talk first about the things I did like. The first is the performances, specifically Kristen Stewart's performance. I mean, there are no bad performances in this film. There's a lot of really great actors that are in this film, but Kristen Stewart steals the show, and she should, because the film really is this weekend through the eyes and the perceptions of Princess Diana. And so Kristen Stewart is the main focus, and rightfully so. She does a fantastic job. She gives a transcendent performance. She highlights the fear and the paranoia and the lack of agency and the uncertainty that Diana must have been going through when she's in this house, and she really almost can't make her own decisions because everything is laid out for her. But she also, the film isn't all that, although that is a major portion of it. She also is able to showcase Diana's lighter side, her relationship with the staff, her relationship with her kids, her need for freedom and fun, and all of those also come in. And this balanced performance, this very different persona that she has to take on, is really impressive to see. And the film also focuses a lot on her isolation from kind of the rest of the world, and her isolation from the other royals. And that means that there's a lot of scenes where it's just Kristen Stewart kind of selling everything that she has to do, selling the drama, selling the fun. And she again does an amazing job. I can't speak enough praise about her performance in this film. And it really makes this movie, and it really draws you into her world and draws you into the aspects of her life that I think were not as public. They might have come out in the tabloids, but to really experience it, I think, is something special. And that's what this film really has. And the second thing I really loved is the music. And as you would expect in a film about the royal family and in a retreat to this estate, there's a heavy classical nature to this music, and that serves a dual purpose. It shows kind of the grandeur of the royal family and this lifestyle that they live, but then also it tends to be a little slower pace and a little more melancholy, which can help to put a frame in Diana's mood. Like it helps to kind of showcase the sad nature of her being here. And I love that dual purpose that it had. And there's so many times when the music comes in that it serves a dual purpose. During some of the dinner scenes, it will showcase the class of this dinner and how everything is set out and this wonderful meal that they're serving. But then also it starts to build, and it can showcase just how stifling this setting can be to her and how overwhelming it can be. And I really loved when it did that. The music does a really good job of showing just how overwhelmed Diana could feel in these situations. And in some, they're not mundane, but in normal situations, it helps to highlight just how claustrophobic she felt. And it's not just classical music. There's also a decent amount of jazz, which I liked because it serves again the dual purpose of showing. It can highlight some fun scenes, some kind of more sporadic scenes, but then also the chaotic nature of it can also just highlight just the chaos that's going on in Diana as well, and it can also build and feel overwhelming at times. There's also plenty of scenes when there's no music, and that is also striking because then you just get you get a sense of the silence and isolation that Diana is going through in these scenes, because there's just nothing, like there's no sound in those instances. The third thing I really loved is the cinematography, and that both highlights just this beautiful British estate, but then also it does a really good job with shot selection. And I'm not going to do it justice because I only watched it once, but there are scenes where it just shows both the beautiful nature of this house, but then also it highlights all the walls, and it shows just how confined she is. There's a lot of scenes that are shot like through a doorway, so it shows just how little space she has and how little escape that she has. And the last thing I really loved is just the overwhelming nature. I think that is what is so special about this film, is it highlights someone in a almost like a fairy tale type situation, right? So like she's a royal, she's in this estate for the holidays. It should be a wonderful, magical experience, but the movie does a really good job of highlighting how regimented and overwhelming this could be to her. Like there are brilliant placements of people like during scenes, and this touches back on the cinematography. It will show a scene, but it'll show it from behind a person who's watching, which showcases that all of her needs are being taken care of. But then also it has a more sinister aspect where everyone is constantly watching her. Everyone is making sure that she's doing what she needs to do. There are tons of really great moments where Diana will think that she has a little bit of freedom. Like she'll think that there's no one around, and then someone will come in, and it can be a surprising person. Like it'll be at night and someone will come in and check on her, or it can be when she's just out for a stroll and someone will ask if she needs anything. But this show again serves this dual purpose of showing that all of her needs are being taken care of, but also her needs for privacy and freedom are stifled because of this. Like when they ask her this, the film does a really good job of showing both that they're attentive, they're trying to make sure that she's okay, but then also they nudge her into different things that she has to do, into her schedule, into her routines that have to happen because of this weekend and because everything is so planned out. Like there will be scenes where like, do you need anything? Oh, and by the way, you have dinner in 2 hours, you better go get dressed, which is a very thoughtful thing, but then in the context of this film shows just how little agency that she had. And I loved seeing that. Like I didn't love seeing that, but I loved how this film could transfer that feeling onto the viewer, which I think is such a difficult thing to do, because again, this is if you changed aspects of this would be a picturesque, wonderful weekend. But because of how well this film portrays this, it turns it into a stifling nightmare for her. And I loved that about this. I love that it lets you experience that, because it is such a difficult thing to do. And that's not to say the film is completely overwhelming. There are some moments that show Diana a little bit happier, a little more free, interacting with her kids, interacting with some of the staff that she's friends with. But overall, you get the sense that this was an unhappy person in a situation that was a little overwhelming, and that she didn't really know what she could and couldn't do. I thought that was just a special thing to show. Things I didn't like, I mean, there really wasn't much I didn't like. I actually really liked this movie. I thought it was a very well done film. I like I said, there's a lot that I did like. I guess if there was some criticism, it's that this is an imagining, right? It's not, some of the characters were made up, some of the situations appear to be made up. I went and did some reading about the kind of true to life versus Hollywood, and there were some aspects that were made up. But then again, I think that you wouldn't get as special of a film if it was trying to be a purely accurate portrayal. So I guess maybe I wish that they would have highlighted that more, although they are clear up front. They do say that this is a fairy tale based on a real life tragedy, so they at least show that this is not a completely true story. But I do wish that maybe they were a little more upfront with that. When something is based on a true story, I always start to wonder like what's real, what's not, and then that usually leads me to go read about them. So I guess maybe it serves that purpose. But again, it's such a good film. It's such a well put together film. It's such a work of art that I think you should definitely go see it. It's so the film is Spencer. It's in theaters November 5th, 2021. I think it's a limited release, so check around, see if it's nearby. It'll probably come to digital eventually, but it is really an experience, and I think it's definitely something worth watching. So thanks so much for watching this. If you liked this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. And check out my other content. I have other movie reviews, I have interviews, I have unboxing videos, and I have weekly movie recommendations. So thanks so much for watching, and take care.